today. So this is kind of like the bread and butter of CC. It's going to make things really efficient. And I'll give you some tips and tricks and just talk to you about what exactly templates are and how you can use them within CC. So if you would like to open up your account, you can go ahead and do that. If you just want to follow along, you're welcome to do that too. If you're a new user, welcome. If you are a veteran user and you're just here for a refresher or some tips and tricks, welcome. Happy that you're here. I do plan on uploading these to YouTube. The last two, I have those pretty much edited and ready to go. I just have to put those on our YouTube channel. So hopefully I'll have those up by the end of this week, if not the beginning of next week. If you want to rewatch the previous sessions, if you missed them, or if you just want to go back and watch them, and then this one as well, hopefully I'll have uploaded within the next week. Okay, so first, just a little bit about me. If you are just joining us for the first time, I am a teacher success associate here at CC, but I am a former high school teacher. I taught for 7 years in many different departments. I did a lot of different things. I taught special education. I was a co-teacher. I taught pull-out classes. I wrote IEPs. I ran IEP meetings. So I had all of those things within the special education world. A lot of my focus was on working with social skills for students. I also taught in gen ed. I taught United States history, and I had a lot of English language learners in those classes. Specifically, I taught classes for learners that were brand new English learners and teaching them about US history. And I am a forever dog mom. My dog Winry, I miss her right now. She's back home being watched. She tolerates the summer. She's not really a fan of it. I work from home, so I always get to be home with her. But we don't really get to go on a lot of walks during the summer because it's just too hot, and she loves the winter. All right, so just a few things to know. The session's being recorded, so I can upload it to YouTube later. I'll present for approximately 30 minutes, and then we'll have some Q&A at the end. While I am presenting, feel free to type your questions, comments into the chat. I will do my best to check on that. Sometimes I'll just get into a flow of things and I'll kind of forget to look at the chat, but I'll try to go back and do that at the end. Also, if I do miss something, or I miss one of your questions, or I miss a comment, or if there's something today that I talk about that you're just not completely sure what I was saying, or you just want to talk one-on-one, send us a message at support@commoncurriculum.com, and then one of us will get back to you. It might be someone else on the team. And then we can get those questions answered, just in case I don't answer those today, or if you are confused about something. So by the end of today's session, you'll know what templates are and how they work in CC. You'll know how to create custom templates for your classes, and then just some tips and tricks to help you cut down on planning time by using templates. All right, so I'm just going to go into my sample plan book. So this is just a plan book that I have written some example lessons. I kind of just based it off of my last schedule that I had when I was teaching, which was US history. But if you are new and you have questions about how to get all of this stuff set up, and you have questions about how exactly to set up your lessons and your schedule and all of those things, I'm posting a recording of a session of that on our YouTube soon. Also message us at support, or we do have some new Friday sessions for new users too. If you have questions about that, please send us a message. But in order to work on your templates, what you want to do is go to settings. Now, back to new users, when you are setting up a plan book, it will have you set up your templates when you are setting up your plan book. But if you already have your plan book set up and you want to go in and look at your templates and edit them, what you want to do is click your settings menu and then go to change templates. And when you click on change templates, it's going to bring you to this screen. And this is a very similar screen to what you see when you are setting up your plan book. So you have these options down here. Here's your templates. This is the view by class name. So one of my classes I've titled period 1. This is the template that I'm using for that class. Period 3. this is the template that I'm using for that class. So that's one of the views. If you want to view your templates by the name of the template, you can click here on template name. And then it will show you the name of the template and then any class that is using that template. So you can select and deselect classes that you want to use that template. So you can edit your templates in either view. I'm going to go ahead and use the class name. This is just how I prefer to do it. So if I click here, this is the first thing I want to bring your attention to. It says change. So right now I have it set up as Miss Finn's template. So if I want to change this to a different template, I can choose from a gallery, which has all of these different options. So within CC, we already have many different setups of templates available for you to choose from. But the really cool thing about templates is that it is completely customizable. You do not have to use any of the preset templates if you don't want to. You can just create a brand new one. Or you can start with one of these preset templates and you can edit it to create one that you want. So as far as the preset ones that we have, the ones that automatically come up are under the short and sweet templates category. And there's lots of them here. So you would just want to pick out what's going to fit best for your classes and what you want. Over here, you'll see this. This says Commonwealth Academy. That is just our sample school that us CCT team members use to show you guys examples and do demos and school trainings and stuff like that. This is just our sample school. But if you are part of a school and your school has a CC account and all the teachers are using CC, you may have your school name here. And the purpose of that is that your school admin or whoever the team members are that are in charge of lesson planning, they might have templates for you to choose from. So if you're part of a school, you may have this and they may have templates for you. So maybe there's an English teacher template or a science teacher template. Your school might have a template for you that they would like you to use. So that's why that category is there. But let's look at these other ones. So there's also the overachiever templates, and some of these are very long. But if you want your lessons to be this detailed, you might want to choose one of these, and then also specialty. Okay, so I can choose one of those if I want to. I just click the choose button. I'm going to close out of that. I'm going to go back to change templates. Okay, so if I don't want to choose from the gallery, I can also create my own. So I can click the create my own, and it is a completely blank template. So this is where you can start building lessons, or sorry, building your template how you want to, or you could click use a blank. Okay, we're having some technical difficulties at this moment. You can get out of that. You can go to edit, and then you'll have my blank template, and then you can just start adding the cards that you would like to see for that class or that template. So you could title this, maybe you just want to title this procedures. Maybe that's something that you want in your template for your classes. Now, for some of you, that might be all you want. Maybe that's the only thing that you want to put into your CC planner is procedures. You just want to know, I'm doing this first, I'm doing this second, I'm doing this third, and that's all you want. Maybe your school requires you to attach standards to your lessons. Then you could add a standards card, and then you can add in your standards. If you are curious about all of those details about how to use standards and track standards within CC, join my session about that. I do have a particular session that is going to cover all of the stuff about standards and how you can use it within CC. I will show you the rest of the sessions at the end here of this one. I'll kind of show you that calendar. But if you don't have that email any longer, I sent out an email with all of the sessions. If you don't have that, or it's in your spam email somewhere, you lost it or deleted it or whatever, just send us a message at support@commoncurriculum.com and we'll get those events to you so you can get registered for that if you'd like to join that one. So I can add in the standards card. Let's say I put that in there, I decide I don't want it. I can just delete it. It will take it out of my template. And then I can add in more cards. So let's say that I want to have a card titled homework. I can add that in. So really, the possibilities are endless. You can add in whatever you want to add for your lessons. It's completely customizable. If your school uses Google Classroom, CC has an integration with Google Classroom where you can actually set up assignments within your CC, and those will actually post to your Google Classroom for you automatically. I do have a session about that too. So join that one if you want to learn more about that. But I could add that into my template, and then that will add that for me. And then I can add and delete cards, whatever I want to within my template. I can rename it. Maybe this template I just want to use for, I don't know, my first period class. So you can title it whatever you want. Okay, so I titled that my first period, and that is now my template for first period because I just edited my template. So let's say that my subsequent classes template, if I want to change it or edit it, I can change it to one of my templates. I can choose from the gallery, or I can create my own. So now I really want to get into why do we want to use templates? Like, why do we want to put in this work of building these templates and setting them up exactly how you want to for your classes? Why do you want to do that? What is the reason? The reason why is because everything that you put into your template, you don't have to copy and paste it if it's something that's happening in your class every day. So let's say that you are an elementary teacher, and I think you guys have something called like morning meeting. I know a lot of elementary teachers have something kind of called that morning meeting. And maybe you go through kind of the same things every day. Maybe there's a song that you go through, or maybe everyone shares something from the weekend if it's on a Monday. If those procedures are the same every day, you just put that into your template and then it will automatically show up. So let me kind of show you what I mean. So my first period, I'm going to edit it. So let's say in my procedures for my first period, I'm just going to put the first thing that I do is we say hi. And then maybe the second thing we do is share a weekend story. And then maybe the third thing is, I don't know, we all just get up and maybe do a stretch. So we stretch so we are ready for the day. Maybe that's something that we're going to do every first period, every day. We're going to do those things. So I can just add that to my card in my template, and then I can hit done. And I'm going to show you. Okay, so as you can see here, when I edited that template for my first period, it didn't change any of these. All of these lessons look the same as they did before I edited my template. The reason for that is anytime you edit a template for a class, if you already have lessons created, it's not going to overwrite those lessons. So one of the things about CC is we never want to get rid of or delete or mess up lessons that you've already created. So if you already have a lesson here, like I already have a lesson on July 15th, if I edit the template, it's not going to change any of this because my lesson's already there. So where the template does take effect is for lessons that I haven't edited yet. So here on Tuesday, July 23rd, I didn't have a lesson here. I didn't add a lesson here. It was just blank. So it did change this template. So the magic that you can see is when I put in the template, the procedures, I put say hi, share weekend story, stretch. It's right there automatically. And then if I keep going to other blank lessons that I didn't already have one planned, you can see that it's right there. And then here you can see the procedures. So whatever you put into those cards within your template, it's going to automatically be populated on those blank lessons, but it's not going to mess up lessons that you already have planned. So you can feel safe there. Also just want to point out, if there is something, I try to always do this just to make you feel better about kind of messing around and making changes. You can always hit this undo button. You can undo edit your lesson card. Any actions that you've done within this session, if you haven't refreshed or if you haven't closed out, you can undo anything that you've done. So let's say I wanted to undo this, adding those 1, 2, 3 to the procedures to my template. I could undo that if I wanted to. Okay, let me check on our time here. Let me check about questions. Okay, recording for this session and previous sessions, hopefully by the end of this week, but definitely by the end of next week. Okay, question about, okay, so a template you've designed for last school year and transfer it to this year's year's book. Okay, what I suggest, so if you have one last year and you want to use those same templates, and I would copy that plan book for the new school year. So if you have last year's plan book already created, your templates are in there, your lessons are in there. If you copy that plan book, it's going to copy all the work that you've done. There isn't a way. So let's say in a previous plan book, there's just a template and you just want to copy the template over. There isn't a way to do that. But if you copy the plan book, it's going to copy all of the work you've done, including how your lessons are set up and the templates. Okay, yep. And if you copy a plan book from last year and want to edit it for this year, there'll be lessons in every day. Yeah. Okay, yes. So there will already be lessons there. So there's not a way to go in and change those lessons because we're not going to delete and mess with all of those lessons that you already have created. Who asked that question? Sorry. Okay, Darcy. I would love to hear more about that, why you want to edit that template for the new year. Can you send us a message on support? So support@commoncurriculum.com, because I want to hear about specifically why you want to do that. And then hopefully we can work to figure something out to make things easier for you. Okay, so I'll get back to some of those questions in a bit. All right, so back to the templates here. Okay, let me make sure I'm not skipping anything. Okay, some other things you might want to put into your template. I'm going to go back to my change templates. I'm going to I'll just open up my period 3 and I want to edit this template. Right now, I have it set up because my period 1, I have my lesson completely outlined in period 1, my standards, my objective, my materials, my agenda, homework, all of those things. My subsequent classes, I'm teaching the same lesson. So I don't want to have all of those things there again because I don't need it. What I'm teaching for period 3 is the same thing I taught in period 1. So for my template for my subsequent classes, I just added in 2 cards that are going to be different. I added an accommodations and modifications card because I know that because I'm going to have different students in my period 3, there's probably going to be some different accommodations or modifications depending on those students that I have in that class. Or let's say that in my period 1, I didn't have any English language learners, but in my period 4, I do have English language learners. So I might want to add in a card specifically for resources and materials, specifically to help them. I might want to add that in to my period 4 template. So specifically about other things that you can add into your template that might be helpful. I know that, so coming from SPED, and I've also talked to some special ed teachers about this specifically, sometimes you will get very long documents of what is in a student's IEP. Maybe it's a couple pages long of things that you as their teacher need to be doing for them to make sure that they are successful. You probably don't want to type all of that out or just copy and paste that into your plans, because it's going to make your plans really long. Like you might have a huge long section that's just about Johnny's behavior intervention plan. You might not want to just have that listed on your plans. You can add in links. So let's say that you have a document that is Johnny's behavior intervention plan. You can attach a file. So you can add that from your Google Drive or just from your computer. And then that link will be in all of your lessons. So you don't have to keep uploading it. It's going to be there, even if it gets edited. So let's say that that student, Johnny, has an IEP meeting 2 months from now, and their accommodations are a little bit different. They've been updated. Since you've linked in a Google Doc and that's a living document, you don't have to reattach it. It's already attached to your lessons in your template, so you can just click it and open it, and it's right there. I also know for compliance purposes, you need to show that you are doing these things, or at least that you are actually modifying and accommodating for these students. So that might be a reason why you want to have those linked in your lesson plans. You could link, if you are a teacher that uses slideshow to go through notes or maybe just to introduce the lesson, you could link in your slideshow here, and then it's automatically going to be present in all of your lessons because it's in your template. There's no reason why you need to keep attaching it. It's just automatically going to be there. Same thing with 504s. You can put a link into that. Or if the 504 accommodations or modifications or IEP are really short, we can just copy and paste them in there, and then they will automatically show up. The other thing that you could link to is curriculum. So let's say that you have a certain curriculum that you are using, and maybe you have an online document and you want to link, you want to have a way to go to that curriculum. You can put that link into your template, and then it's automatically going to be there for you. Or if there's a certain website link that you want to have that you use very often, you could just put that in your template and it's going to show up every time. Okay, the next way I want to show you, oh, let me check this real quick. Okay, can you add multiple files? Yes. So in your template, any files you want to add, you can put those in your template. Okay, another way that you can edit templates, let me check my time. Another way that you can edit templates is by using the lesson menu. So let's say that on Tuesdays, maybe I want period 1 template to be a little bit different than Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. There is a way to do that. I'm thinking about an example of when I might want to use this. Maybe I have a certain student on Tuesdays during first period that always has to go meet with their counselor. Maybe at like the end of the period, maybe they have to leave early. Or maybe there's some reason why a student can't be in the hallway with other students. And so I want to remind myself that that student always needs to leave early on Tuesdays. There's many reasons why there might be something different. That's just an example that I can think of that I may have wanted to use. So if I want to put that into my Tuesday template only on Tuesday for period 1, I can click on my lesson menu, which is this little icon here. So this is your settings menu, this is your day menu, and this is your lesson menu. So if I click on my lesson menu, I have some options. There's this bottom one, it says edit class settings. So I can edit some other class settings, but I'm going to go to templates. And here's where I can edit the template for each day of the week. So for that Tuesday, if I want to edit something and add something into the template just on Tuesdays, I can do that. So maybe I want to add in a note. And then I can do that. Okay, so I could change it. I can remove a template if I want to. That will change it to a blank template. I can change this to, here's some other options that I have. So subsequent classes, template, I can change that. And then my subsequent classes template will show up. Okay, let's say that I click on my lesson menu and I want to, there's these two options here for template. So if I want to replace the template from the library, if I want to change it, I can just change that particular days. So if I click on the 4th period template, I can just change that particular day to a different template. Let's also say that I created a lesson and I added in some different cards. I can save that template to my library as an option to use. We'll say example, just throwing in a name here. So I could save that, and then that will be within my options in my template library that I could choose from. Okay, oh, one note I did want to tell you. Okay, so here where it says replace template from library, let's say that you already have a lesson. So let me show you what I'm talking about. Okay, so I already have a lesson here. There's already a lesson built. If I click this button, replace template from library, and I choose a different template, that lesson is now gone because it changed it to another template. I'm going to undo that because I don't want to get rid of my lesson that I've already built. So if you accidentally do that, you can undo. So we are going to be changing replace template from library to replace lesson, just so it makes more sense. Because it's going to get rid of your lesson and put in a new blank template for you. Okay, let me make sure. Okay. All right, so we are at 12:30. Those are pretty much all of the basics of all of the things that you can do with templates. Really what I want to really hit hard on is, because I do get messages, we do get messages and support about this, people asking or just making the comment, hey, I hate copying and pasting things. It just takes up so much time, copying and pasting things from day to day. Make sure you are setting up your templates so you don't have to copy and paste. Anything that you want to show up each day, you just put it in your template. The other thing I just want to make sure that you're aware of, even though this is my template and I have my lesson set up using my template, if there's a card on particular days that I don't want, I can delete a card. So let's say that you have something happening almost every day, but maybe sometimes you don't want that card in your lessons. I would go ahead and put it in your template. And then on those particular days that you don't want that card, you can just delete it out of that lesson. That's still going to save you time.